right, you ready? Oh, Bills jersey.
You should just be turned backwards, pointing at the Allen after the 40-0 win.
Oh, hold on a second. We're here to break down another day of UFC. No, damn it. No. We're here after an awesome weekend of NFL action, here to break down another week of NFL DFS action. I just said that twice. This is not my day.
How many times can you say action? Dude, do you know how much we say I mean? Every time we segue to each other?
I mean. And we are here after another awesome weekend of NFL action. I mean, the laptop says it all right there.
I mean.
Stop. How are we feeling after an awesome week of NFL action?
I mean. Start again. I don't think I can edit together this mumbled bullshit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordon Gamble, joined by this beauty of a man here, Kirode. And I mean, we're back. You've ruined it for me. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordon. Oh, what?
Our intro last week was like 3 minutes long because we did so much bullshit. Maybe we skipped the intro. I'll edit that together. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel after a week where we destroyed the NFL slate. I am Gordo Gambles, and this is my beauty of a co-host, Kirode, and we are back. I mean, it's another week of NFL. We're back to break it down for you. How many times can we say action? We got action this week. We had good action last week. I don't know which week of NFL, but week 5 of NFL, we are back in action, breaking down this DFS slate. This is a wild one because a bunch of teams aren't there that we normally would see and be picking players from. I mean, who's gone? The Bills, the Chiefs, the Colts, the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Rams. So many good teams are gone off this slate, which means that we're going to have to find some other options for people. The NFL is a big league. We know that. There's a lot of guys you can choose from, but maybe some lesser known names this week because of the names that are gone. So let's get right into it. We're not going to waste any more of your time. Let's start with the QB position. Who do we like this week as our plays?
I just got replaced. I've lost everything I was working towards. Well, thank you, Gordo Campbells. You're looking a bit less attractive today. I mean, all jokes aside. All jokes aside, though, you said it completely right. I mean, we have no Chiefs.
Jokes aside, I'm a legitimate host here.
Stop. I mean,
all jokes aside, Gordon.
No! All jokes aside, you're completely right. We're missing a lot of core plays that we usually would have. No Mahomes, no Allen. It's going to be a really, really weird slate this week, but that's not without saying there's no value. There is a ton of value this week, and let's get it started. First play, quarterback position. We're going to pay up for someone like Justin Herbert. I mean, this man has been showing off, absolutely killing it his last time out. Monday Night Football put on the clinic as well, and I mean, I'm looking at him to keep it going against the Browns this week. I think he's got a dynamic offense there. Him and Eckler are doing great. And I think he's just going to keep it going this week. Let's not waste too much time on that one. Justin Herbert, great play for us this week. And what's the thing with the Cowboys?
Save horse.
Ride a cowboy. Yeah, and I absolutely love Kyler Murray up top there as well. You could not go wrong with a guy who's leading the MVP race right now. But who is someone that we might be paying down for this week?
Thanks, Kirode. I mean, one of the guys that we're looking at that maybe is a little bit of a surprise, definitely a surprise to us, is Daniel Jones, quarterback for the New York Giants. I mean, this week...
You said it.
This week, the Giants are going up against that Dallas Cowboys defense, which we've talked about in the past isn't the greatest pass defense in the league, which means that Daniel Jones has an opportunity to put up some points here by hitting those receivers for big yards downfield and hopefully putting up some TDs as well. At that price tag of $6,000, he's cheaper than a lot of those top-end quarterbacks that are on the slate this week, but we definitely think he has good upside here. Again, given the defense that he's going up against. I mean, DraftKings has the opponent-ranked defense as 31st in the league, so that's an opportunity if I've ever seen one, and even though it is Daniel Jones, we definitely think he has the ability to do pretty well this week.
As for our fade this week, this is a tough one to say. We're going to be fading Tom Brady. Not because of his abilities, but more because of the situation he's in. He's facing someone in Miami who is notoriously bad for their run defense. And with the Buccaneers being as big as favorites as they are, we assume to be a big blowout game here. And we might not have the Tom Brady passing ability, the game script that we would like to have for him. I mean, if you're willing to pay 7.4K, I'd be just as happy paying up, getting Kyler Murray 8K, or even spending down, getting someone like Sam Darnold at 6.6K as well, or Herbert like we mentioned earlier. Lots of great options, and just not that good of a game script for Tom Brady this week, so we're going to stay away from him. Sticking with that same plan of that positive game script for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run game, Leonard Fournette this week, sitting at a price tag of 5.2K, will have the ability to absolutely smash this spot here. Like we said, Miami, not the best team against the run, and Fournette's time to shine here. Him and Ronald Jones both are going to have a lot of opportunities, and we like them to get it done this week. What about a pay-up option for us at running back?
Yeah, I mean, Fournette down there, a little bit lower of a price tag, but a bunch of these guys up at the top end of the price range we like a lot. Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Eckler. I mean, those three guys specifically have great matchups this week, and we think maybe running back is a position where you should put some money into paying up this week because they have such good matchups and such good track records this year so far in putting up big points in fantasy. So those three guys specifically we love, but a lot of the guys at the end of the price range we think are going to be worth it this week. Moving on to a fade at the running back position, that will be David Montgomery. Tell us why.
I mean, it's kind of cheap. I have it here written in my notes what I did a couple days ago, and just today, as we're recording this, he was ruled out. So I would have been fading Montgomery against that Las Vegas Raiders defense. Same thing goes for Damian Williams, I guess. He does have a good price tag, but the Raiders have shown to be really, really good this year, surprising everybody. So I think that they'll be doing really good against the run, and it'll be tough for Montgomery or Williams to get it done this week.
All right, not as many targets on that lower end of that price range for us at the running back position, but a lot of those guys at the top we really like. Moving on to the wide receiver position, who's our first option?
I mean, Curtis Samuel was back his first game in week 4, and he went out there. He had he was out there for 37% of the snaps only, and he got a good share of the targets there that week. So if you look at him to increase his usage on an extra week back, he's sitting still at a price tag of 3K. I mean, he's sitting literally at minimum salary for the wide receivers this week, and he has a really favorable matchup against the New Orleans Saints. I mean, McLaurin probably be guarded by one of the better cornerbacks on the Saints. And it's just going to be a good matchup for Samuel if he's able to get that usage, get those snaps coming back from injury. 3K, great value for us this week. Looking at more of a pay-up option for the wide receiver position, who are we liking?
I mean, you know what they say about saving a horse?
Ride the Cowboys.
This week, we are going to ride the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb. We think that...
Ride CeeDee Lamb.
Yes! This week, we are going to ride CeeDee Lamb in our lineups. We like him here at $6,200. He definitely has the ability to put up big numbers against the Giants this week. He had a not so great week 4, but we expect him to be able to bounce back this coming weekend and put up some big numbers. So definitely a target that we like at that $6,200 price tag.
Someone at a lower price tag of 4.4K, that was going to be Nelson Aguilar from the New England Patriots. I mean, we saw it ourselves. He went out there for 43 of the 59 offensive snaps this week. Lots of usage, and he's facing someone in the Houston defense who is atrocious. 40-0, right? So I think that is going to be a nice opportunity for Aguilar to live up to that price tag and do very, very well for us this week. In terms of pay-up options, I mean, you can't go wrong with DJ Moore recently. He's been on absolute fire. Devontae Adams as well at the top price. And I mean, if the Tennessee wide receivers do show up this week in terms of Jones and Brown, they're facing someone in Jacksonville who isn't that great either. So lots of options for us this week. In terms of a fade, we're going to be fading Terry McLaurin for a very similar reason we mentioned earlier. Tell us why.
Yeah, McLaurin this week at a price tag of $7,400. There are a few issues we see with his matchup this week, which is that firstly, Samuel's back, which means that a few of those targets are going to be gone, are going to be moved and spread throughout the offense. And the second issue that we see is he's going up against this New Orleans defense, which is quite strong. And more specifically, he's going to be covered by Lattimore probably for a lot of this game as one of their big wide receivers on that Washington team, which means that He's going to have a not so good matchup downfield, and he's going to get less targets this week. So at that $7,400 price tag, we don't see him as somebody that you should be looking to put in your lineups as much.
If you're paying that much, you can spend up, get someone like DJ Moore, or you can go down and get someone like Mike Williams to be a good stack with Herbert this week. At the tight end position, again, you cannot go wrong with TJ Hawkinson. Focal point of that offense. I see I talk about him every single week, but he's averaging 14.4 fantasy points and still cheaper than a couple of the other tight ends there. But the one guy we're going to target this week, mostly at top, is going to be someone like the Robert Tonyans, facing someone in the Cincinnati Bengals who he's going to have the opportunities in the end zone. He's been that guy who's been relying on touchdowns. He hasn't got them this year. So I look for him to have a nice bounce back game here. But for a pay down option, who are we liking there?
A guy that we talked about last week, and Evan Ingram, he's sitting here at a price tag of $3,200. And he's, again, going up against that Dallas defense, which we don't like too much, which means that he definitely could be getting some more receptions here. Last week he did okay, but he was against a better defense in the Saints, and this week he's going up against a lot weaker of a defense in Dallas. So at that $3,200 price tag, we definitely see him outperforming his value here this week for you.
And yeah, that Jones Ingram stack would be one of the ones I'm going to use a lot, as well as that Herbert Eckler stack there as well. So two good stacks to put there. Now a fade for us at the tight end position is going to be George Kittle, and he's had an awful start to the year. And I mean, if you're going to be paying that much for a tight end, I'd much rather have TJ Hawkinson. As simple as that. Let's move right along though to the defense special teams. You cannot go wrong with any of the top three, but wow, are they expensive this week? Makes sense though. Patriots facing the Houston, 39-point total in the first place. Buccaneers facing the Dolphins there. Two teams that are probably going to lock down and could be good value for you, even at that high price tag. But somewhere going to be like even more, saying at a price tag of 2.9K, is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Facing one of the Bears, who are a struggling offensive team, and with Montgomery out as well, the Raiders are going to be killing it on defense. Mason Crosby's been doing really, really well this early year, and I think he keeps it going.
Our fade here in week 5 for defense and special teams is going to be the Tennessee Titans going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last week, we saw them play some questionable defense against Zach Wilson and the Jets, and that's Zach Wilson and the Jets. We know that Trevor Lawrence, although he's been struggling a little bit, definitely has the ability to put up some big throws and big numbers as well. So we don't really see the Titans outperforming their value here at $3,800. If you want an option, you might as well pay up for one of those top teams, or go down to a team like the Raiders so that you get some more value here and have more ability to pay up at some other positions in your lineup.
I mean, yeah, that's going to do it for us. We've been killing it on our bets, especially for NFL. We absolutely destroyed last week on Sunday. So make sure you're checking out my Twitter at Gordo Gambles and the Twitter of at Plays Fades as well. Make sure you're subscribed to
my Twitter at Gordo Gambles?
You're right. You are Gordo Gambles. It's been a lie. I've been the cover face.
Right. We chose you as the cover face.
Yeah, make sure you also subscribe to the channel as well. Lots of UFC action. There's nothing better than an NFL UFC combo on the weekend. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video as well. We appreciate the support. As always, check out our Twitter, check out our Instagram, and let's make some money. Ding!
Thanks, Kiro.